Hey everybody, welcome back to another Slimefun tutorial here on the channel. I'm your host Boomer, and today we are here to get into Slimeframe. And I want to thank everybody who responded to the poll on Discord about if I should do one. I was a little concerned at first, but the more I got into this game, I just realized, you know what? Slimeframe is one of those endgame add-ons. Very much like Supreme in terms of time and effort put in to get there. Maybe not quite as much on the resources, but a lot of unique things. Now, we are going to break this tutorial up into 3 segments. I believe it'll be 3. We'll see, but it's either going to be 2 or 3, but for sure at least 2. Today we're going to start with just the machine. So let's kind of look at this. We have a number of machines and one and another that we're going to go take a look at. There are actually some really cool things in here, and they're capable of doing quite a bit. So one of them is called the Mangrove Generator, and the first thing I was expecting the Mangrove Generator to do was generate mangrove stuff, right? Well, it's not quite as simple here. So let's see, artificial mangrove, here we go. My thought was that it was going to produce mangrove blocks, logs, something like that, and actually it's everything within the biome. So here's how this works. It's not 100% just straight up and down. In some cases it is. So 2 dirt will give you a mud. 2 coarse dirt will give you mud. 2 rooted dirt will give you mud. A vine will give you 2 mangrove roots. 2 mud and a mangrove roots gives you 3 muddy. Mud and wheat will give you packed. Mud and wheat seeds will give you packed. And packed will give you 2 bricks. So in some cases you need 1 item. In some cases you need 2. And again, it's just 2 mud added with a mangrove root. So, real simple how this works. Let's say give Boomer some dirt, right? Let's just put 64 dirt in there because I want to get a whole bunch of mud. We'll put it in there. Apparently I left something in. And it doesn't take super long. Bingo, right? There's our packed mud. You get the idea. Now, there are 3 levels of every machine, like I said. There's artificial mangrove. There's advanced. And this is the same for all of them, right? There's the beginning level, then there's the advanced. Now, all we're going to cover today is just a machine. So we're not going to talk about how to get the prime. The prime is going to be its own separate tutorial all on its own. All right? Because that's the supreme end of this for sure. Getting all the prime machines, it's going to take you a lot of time. Okay? Don't think you're going to get there in a day or two. You're not. All right, let's keep moving. Basalt Generator. This one was really simple. It simply generates basalt, and actually at a pretty good rate, right? It looks like about every 4 Slimefun ticks or every 2 seconds you're generating basalt. That's all it is. It's a straight basalt generator, just like SMG, simple material generators. All right, chunk eater. So first of all, you can only place 1 per chunk. I was going to try to place all 3. That line right between those 2 is where my chunk boundary is. And so I tried to place the prime one and I couldn't. But the goal of the chunk eater is simply this. I've got the first and second levels placed here. Let's get it some power. Ready? Watch this. I'll give it just a second here. Look at this. It actually picked up where it left off in a chunk. I had started it briefly and didn't realize that it was going to start so quick. I thought there might have been some type of on-off button, so I screwed up. So it actually had cleared out the first maybe 8 layers, and you can see it's actually running. It just has to catch up to the edge. There you go. So when you first place the chunk loader, once it starts, it doesn't reset unless you break it and replace it. I just simply kept it going. So you'll be able to see down there, it's still going, and line by line. Now that's the advanced chunk eater. The other chunk eater over here, I believe, goes a block at a time. Or a row. Yeah, I think that one's a block at a time. Whereas on this side, it's a row. So this one will have to catch up. But to me, this is a lifesaver because for those of you who watch my survival series, I cleared out 6.5 million blocks by hand, of which roughly 4.5 million was done 1 block at a time, with the exception of the 5x5 upgraded pick. So the chunk eater is a beautiful machine. We'll let that run a while. All right, concrete generator. This one's really cool. Two gravel and two sand will get you concrete, and you simply come in here and tell it, you know what, I want some pink concrete. You're going to get 6 pink concrete. Now, I would wait to load the sand and the gravel until you have the type in there that you want, because as you saw, as soon as I selected a valid concrete, it started up. So either wait to provide power or wait to load the sand and gravel before you put in a concrete. But again, 2 gravel, 2 sand gives you 6. So you kind of get to cheat the system there a little bit. All right, dust generator, same thing. This one runs off of cobbled deep slate, excuse me. You can simply come in here and select the type of dust you want. So the beginning one is 2 at a time. The advanced, if I remember, is, you know what, it's either 4 or 8. Let's take a look. I know, but let's take a quick look. It is 8. And then the third one compares with the Infinity Expansion, Infinity Dust Generator, where it's 64 at a time. 64 cobble gives you 64 of the dust that you want. That is pretty awesome. And, like I said, you can pick the very specific dust. We got another one, a flower generator. Same path. This one requires a pot and a flower above it. The only flowers that will actually go in there, though, are the one high flowers, the rose, the lilac, and there's 2 others that will not go into the pot. Therefore, the flower generator is incapable of generating them. So it's only the one high flowers. All right, another common one that we're going to look at here, glass generator. You can select any colored glass that you want. So give it sand. It's going to grab one. This is really cheaty. 1 sand is going to give you 2 colored glass. So not only are you getting the extra glass. Whoop! I selected actual glass. You're skipping the dye too as well. So you're getting to save yourself a lot of resources here. And it doesn't take all that long either. All right, Purifier. I put the Slimefun guide there just for some fun because we do need to look this up. Now, there are recipes that will require you to use this, but under normal circumstances, I don't know you would ever use this. Put the top item in to get the bottom item. It's just that simple. So you can get rotten flesh or suspicious stew, poisonous potato, and fermented spider eye. There's recipes that need it. I'm just going to leave it at that. There are 3 levels of the machine, though. All right, Sulfate Generator. Now, I left my regulator off on this one because it will start. So out of basalt, 4 basalt. There we go. 4 basalt will start generating 4 sulfate. And as we all know, sulfate is a big enough challenge already to generate. Now, the Extra Tools add-on provides an option, but now you have a second option. And there's basalt generators in this add-on, as well as, I think, FN Fowls amplifications. I could be wrong, but I think it's in there. And I'm willing to bet there's at least 2 others. I want to say for sure. I think it's cultivation and possibly chicken engineering, reborn. But anyways, there's plenty of options to get basalt. We have a terracotta generator. Does the exact same thing. Pick your type of terracotta. 1 clay and 1 dirt. No, 2. 2 clay, 2 dirt will get the type of terracotta that you want to farm. Another one, so that you're gaining a little bit of resources. All right, this is something I know a lot of people have asked for to be added either into core or others, and it's the tree peeler. Essentially, it's creating stripped logs. And I'll turn this one off too as well. So it'll take logs and just strip them for you, and actually relatively quickly. You know, what is that? Probably 7-8 seconds, 6-second cycle. Nice to have. I use a lot of strip birch in a lot of my builds, so I would have loved to have had that before I, stripped 10 billion logs. Wool generator, another one that's really nice. Get this, 2 string, and if I remember right, the number of wool I think you get is 4. Yeah, 2 string and a 4 wool. Talk about a cheaty number there. So the nice thing I think that was put into the back of Slimeframe is these are not going to be cheap. They're not going to be quick to craft, and maybe that was the payment, right, for your effort, because each tier is also excessively harder to craft too. I'm sorry, not harder because there is no skill, more resources, more time. All right, Cryotic Extractor. Now again, we're not in the right biome, and so I can't get it to turn on. Of course, I need to be in a cold biome. This is where you actually, and there is a suit specifically, just like in Core has a hazmat suit, you have a cryotic, essentially a cryogenic suit that you'll wear when touching the cryotic. It's essentially the same as uranium, right? And a hazmat suit on that side. Here's another one. Okay, we have 4 more machines left, and I'm going to come back to, oh, you know what? Let's save the villager for last. Okay. The Terrarium Fragment Synthesizer. This runs very simple as, or comparable to Infinity Expansion's Void Harvester on a relatively low cycle. It does mine Terrarium as part of a resource that you will need in Slimefun. Simply power it, let it run, sit back. It's faster than the Infinity's Void Harvester, the entry-level one, but not by much. The Recycler. Let's look this one up. I forgot what goes in here. My apologies. All right, so there's a lot of recyclers in this game. Okay, this one needs an overhaul. So, Volper, if you're listening, in my opinion, this is really unfair in some situations and in some pieces. You're making out. Everything that can be recycled, you will use salvage as part of some recipes, with the exception of 8 advanced circuit board making gallium. So look, all these energy capacitors all yield 8 salvage, right? Let's go on here. All the machines, same different level machines, all yield 8. Crucibles, ingot factories. Let's go on to some of the deeper stuff here. Energized transmitters, freezer 2s, freezer 3s, nuclear reactor. How is it that a nuclear reactor gets the same amount of salvage as a small capacitor? So, in my opinion, this definitely needs to be balanced a little bit more. I appreciate the fact that there's 51 pages and over 450 items that can be used. However, I do think it needs a rebalancing, but that's just my personal opinion. You may disagree with it. Okay, this one I love. We need a contract. Oh, there's too many controllers in the way here. Try that again. There we go. Okay. Somebody asked on the Slimefun Discord a few days ago, is there a way to auto-trade with villagers? And until Slimeframe came around, the answer was no. Well, what I've done is I've talked to a librarian here, and I've unlocked all 9 of his trades. All right, now he doesn't have a lot for books, but let's say I have a need for the Infinity Chanted book, right? Because I want unlimited arrows, and I'm going to sell these on a server. I can actually set up auto-trading for that. Or if I want tons of lanterns. Or, look at this. I got actually an uncommon trade in my, a very low possibility, too, of even getting one of these trades, and I got one. We'll talk more about that at a later date. Maybe I want to auto-trade for name tags. So here's what you do. Get yourself a merchant soul contract, and you're going to right-click the villager. Now, you got to be careful, because the moment you do, he's dead. All right, so we're going to put our contract in the auto trader, and you're going to see all 9 trades pop up. So if I want to trade an emerald for a lantern, I'm going to select trade number 4, and then I'm going to load my emeralds in. Just be careful, because once you've got them, they get started, you can't stop the process. So we'll let that run. I'll get myself I'm trading for lanterns, not for emeralds. We'll get that going here for us. All right, let's go take a look at our last machine in the Nether. All right, so the last one that we have here is a Thermia extractor. Thermia is another resource that we're going to use. Real simple. It has to be over magma block and powered. And then you simply need to provide 5 coolant canisters to create a diluted Thermia. And as you'll notice, you'll see it'll start going up here. There's a countdown that comes down, and we'll get our diluted Thermia canister. But you can see it's taking 5 at a time. It goes up, and then it runs right back down. We'll get another one. That is the only one that requires in the Nether, so we're going to head back into the overworld here. And with that, guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. The more I think about this, we're probably going to go ahead and do 3 episodes, because the amount of time and effort and types of resources that we're going to need to build the prime machines, it's really a lot of work. And so I think that alone will be one episode, and then the other one will be the remaining tools that you have to use and the cryogenic armor, and anything that we haven't covered up to this point. So with that, I'm going to say thank you as always, and don't forget, when you're playing Slimefun, you got to go boomer or you got to go home. We'll see you later.